So when you want to become RSCA, Red Hat Certified Architect. So with your subscription, you know already your objective is you want to become Red Hat Certified Architect. When you want to become architect, you need to know here what are the paths available. In this, today we are going to learn what is one. Today we are going to learn what is OpenShift and how we use it and what is the advantage of OpenShift, etc. Before that, for idea, I am giving clarity about because some of the guys they are attending this course directly without having any subscription. This reason we need to have some idea. One. Hi Suresh. Are you getting my voice, all of you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Recording is going to be shared, right, with us?
Yes, yes, we will do that. We will do that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So I think Ramesh is facing trouble to connect.
Yeah,
Till,
might be. Yeah, he is not. Still, he is not in connection.
Okay. So let us see. Then anyway, if this is the demo today, then we will share to him also. Then if normally first time when they are connecting with the old version, they may need to upgrade to new version. At that moment only they can connect. So you didn't face any challenge to connect, right, all of you?
No, no.
Yes, from mobile, yes, we don't see it.
Okay, so that is cool. So from RSCSA, we usually say that next level certification is mandatory to become RSCE. So RSCE. RSCE earlier we can mention with RS-254. RS-254. That is, we can call it as server administration. Whatever the servers available in our real time, servers administration. So usually servers and we can call it as network also, because in that course people was learned IPv6, teaming, bridging, the kind of concept they was learned it. So with that knowledge, if you have that knowledge, that is added advantage. Even if you don't have that knowledge, you need to have basic idea about what is web server, what is database server, etc. Okay. So after completion of this one, usually we have to go to next one is RSCE, RS-294. This is the new version. New version. New version. We can call it as automation. Linux automation. Linux automation with Ansible. So in this area, we are going to learn how to automate your task. Whatever you are able to do that, you can do automation. So people who are learning RSCSA, if they are not aware about what is web server, what is database server, they are normally unable to automate everything. They can automate a few things, but they can't do this one. This reason, this many guys they will call it as either this, because nowadays Red Hat is not developed any content for Relate. This is especially for Relate implementation. In Relate, RSCE means that is automation with Ansible. In RHEL 7, automation means in RHEL
Sir,
7.
Ramesh has replied us, sir. He's saying that he couldn't join the meeting.
Okay. I think he connected. Hey, Ramesh, are you there? He might be joined with the mobile. So we can connect with RHEL 7. If some of you just reply to him, uninstall existing Zoom and connect with new Zoom, then he can easily connect. So let us see here. So RHEL 7 is the old version, but you can see many servers running with RHEL 7. Then even our course is designed with RHEL 7 servers only, because OpenShift, whatever we are using, that that is the implementation of cloud. How we are going to implement, what are the servers we are going to use, we'll see that one. First, before that, this is the prerequisite before going for any architect level, any method you can choose. So in this, when you want to go to architect level, you need to go for either data center, or you can choose cloud, or you can choose DevOps path, or you can also choose a security path. Whatever the path you want to choose, different ways available from Red Hat. So in this, the first area we can call it as data center. So what are the papers we have? We'll discuss separately based on the requirement. So right now I am giving data center, then cloud administration, then we have DevOps process, and we can have security. We have different things. We have another wing, we can call it as telecom. So if you go to telecom sectors, you need to know specific category of technologies. So whoever working in telecom sector, they have to understand this part. So in cloud administration, we are here because whenever you are learning OpenShift, you are in cloud administration as well as combination of DevOps. So in this combination, in DevOps, Ansible, we already learned it. Ansible, we know that. So in this combination, we are going to understand what are the different technologies available, and how to use it, how to implement it. So in this area, we are going to learn here. So in this, the first level of cloud administration, we can call it as infrastructure as a service. So based on the type of clouds, we have different types of clouds here. That is infrastructure as a service, then platform as a service, then we can have software as a service. So in infrastructure as a service, see, DevOps means development and operations, right? Whatever you are doing automation with the help of different tools, where we do that, this DevOps implementation you can do in data center, or you can do in cloud area. In cloud area, again, we have different areas like infrastructure as a service solution, platform as a service solution, and software as a service solution. So in this area, again, we have different types. One is public cloud, another one is private cloud. So we can use either public cloud or private cloud. In this public cloud or private cloud, we can choose our solutions, whatever the solution we require. Infrastructure service solution is available in private and public. Platform as a service solution you can available in public and private. But software as a service, most of the time we can find in public environment only. So in this area, what are the technologies we need to focus here? So in this this private cloud and public cloud, we can consider for both areas, platform as a service as well as infrastructure as a service. So in this area, what we are going to choose here, we are going to choose if you want to choose the platform as a service here in the infrastructure as a service. I am taking these two areas. So in this, we are going to understand OpenStack, or we can learn AWS. These two must be learned whenever you want to perform in infrastructure as a service solutions. So you need to learn this one. One is we can call it as a public cloud. Second one is private cloud. So OpenStack comes under by default private cloud. AWS comes under public cloud. AWS also providing private cloud solution, but is expensive because they will provide all the setup at our locations. So when you are taking a PaaS solution here, we can have OpenShift. Then we can have OpenShift and Azure. So these two you need to have skill set. Nowadays, based on the current scenario, people needs to improve or enhance their skill set. When you want to enhance your skill set here, you need to focus on the technologies like OpenShift and OpenStack, AWS and Azure. If you have these four, then we can rock in this area, because whatever the DevOps process you learn, you will implement in every location. In OpenStack, earlier it was used because till 13 and earlier version, they was used Puppet modules and Puppet related. So Puppet is also one of the automation tool. So with 16 and latest version, they are going to use again Ansible only. Ansible is the best automation tool we are using in real time, and which is very easy to implement and very easy to write playbooks. So in this course, we are focusing on this area. So
So you mean to say OpenShift not used in AWS?
because OpenShift, like we are talking about platform as a service by AWS, we are talking about, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Amazon also providing platform as a service solution, but not popular. See, people always choose different products based on the flexibility and feasibility. So many guys, they would feel OpenShift and Azure is the combination. Why? Because Azure is a Microsoft product, because Microsoft is having a good clientele. Based on that, everybody converted into Azure services. And apart from that, Azure also having backend running with OpenShift. So the person who is having OpenStack knowledge, learning AWS for him is cakewalk. The person who is having OpenShift knowledge, learning Azure is cakewalk for them. So the person who is not having any knowledge on OpenShift and OpenStack, learning AWS and Azure will be like a copy-paste method. They don't know what is happening back end, and it looks like a copy-paste method. So like, for example, if you take Google Drive. So in Google Drive, we have PowerPoint presentation, Google Sheet, as well as you can also find a document. So the person who is not having MS Office knowledge, if he is using Google Drive, the document or PowerPoint presentation or anything, he can prepare it, but he don't know what are the different options available to prepare a good presentation or to prepare a good Excel sheet. But they can use it. So for the sake of usage, or for the sake of minimal options, that Google Drive, how it is useful rather than MS Office. Similar way, without having OpenStack and OpenShift, if you are become expert in AWS or Azure, you can use option, but you don't know if you get issue behind that, you can't fix it. So that's the reason most of the guys who are working in AWS support area, they will ask you learn OpenStack also. In OpenStack, we do everything manually. In OpenShift, we do everything manually. That's the reason backend related issues you can fix very easily. Then Amazon is also providing platform as a solution, as well as Salesforce. We know for SaaS, we can say for SaaS, this is the best option here. The best option is Salesforce, right? We have many solutions, but Salesforce acquired market. Salesforce. Like Salesforce having force.com. Do you know that? there is a force.com also available. Force.com is providing platform as a service solution, but people very rarely use it. People know Salesforce for software as a service solution, but whenever you are going for a kind of platform as a service solution, we know most of the time Azure, OpenShift, and Google also trying to penetrate the market, and AWS also trying to penetrate the market. But most of the guys nowadays they are using OpenShift and Azure. But when you are using OpenShift or Azure, again you need to have a separate or additional skill set here. I'll explain. You need to have this skill set. The skill sets are here. You should know Docker. You should know Kubernetes. So not before learning course, after learning the course, you need to focus on this area, because anyway Docker basic we will cover, Kubernetes basic we will cover in our course. But apart from that, if you focus on this individual implementation, because if you want to learn Docker in depth, how to create image, how to customize image, how to upload the image to the Docker Hub public repository, how to create. These are all if you want to learn and how to customize and how to modify code inside the image. That will take almost around, if you have less time, it will take 1 month to prepare Docker itself. Kubernetes also will take the same kind of time. So that is it is having vast concept, but OpenShift is providing Docker and Kubernetes features and backend implementation with the help of minimal effort. So by learning OpenShift, will feel it's very easy to manage it. But by learning Docker, people will feel it's very difficult to manage it. So Kubernetes is also a little bit difficult. Why? Because lengthy commands you need to remember. But in OpenShift, you can avoid the lengthy commands. You can use simple commands, which is very easy to manage it. Then along with that, I will also recommend you to Git. You can also create Git account, and you can also focus on Git, and you can also focus on QA account. So there you can integrate your QA Git account in OpenShift latest version, because we are learning first OpenShift version 3.9, and we are also writing exam 3.9. Why? Because 3.9 easy to pass. 4.2 latest version, again they may release 4.3 latest version, because 4.2 is having only online lab. There is no like local labs available for the institute. That's the reason we can't provide lab continuously based on the requirement. But Red Hat is providing 4 days lab while the course is going on 3 or 4 days lab. The season we will miss the kind of repo. But we requested in last meeting a kind of local lab, but they are saying we need to have 64 GB RAM, and we said we will provide 64 GB RAM also. But we need to wait for latest version 4.3 or 4.4. In that, local labs will be available. But the latest version exam is not recommended right now. Why? Because we don't know how they are giving and how much stuff it is. Because OpenShift exam 3.9 itself, people will fail. Why? Because lack of practice. But I provided a kind of lab where you can easily practice, then you can pass the exam quickly. No, but only needed thing is you need to practice much more time. So exam is nothing for you once if you understand the concept, and I also prepared in a such a way you can manage easily. So these skill sets you required it, Docker, Kubernetes, Git, QA accounts. But meanwhile, you can also dig into the environment. I think you most of you might have idea about Git account. You can have code there, and you can integrate that code to your applications, and you can also have QA account, and you can also integrate those things to your accounts like code. Okay, so these are all we are going to understand. I will also show Git and QA account which was created for my personal practice. So in real time also we will follow the same kind of things. So once if you finish this kind of courses like OpenStack, OpenShift, and again when you are going for security, we have Open Shift container security. In telecom, you can find OpenStack and OpenStack Administration 1, Administration 2. Like that, we need to finish almost 5 specialization. When you want to become a RSCA, 5 specialist exams you have to write it. Or we can say 5 electives you can choose from any one of the categories, from any. So then you can become architect. So RSCS and RSCE, because many guys who are having RHLS learning subscription, they might have 5 exams by default. That means the exams number, if you look at here, this is 1, then this is 2, second exam, either this, we can write it. Then plus you have to write 5 exams. Then you can become Red Hat certified architect. So once if you finish your architect exam, 5 exams, you can become architect. So this is a way, this is a track. First exam you have to finish, second exam you have to finish, after that 5 exam. But when you have a RHLS subscription, you will get 5 exams by default. Again, you have to write 2 more exams to become architect. So if you become architect, advantage is you can be a part of main team, as well as you will get best package in the industry, because even freshers are also getting 8 lakhs to 12 lakhs, but the person who is having 5 years experience or 5 plus years experience is getting more than 18 lakhs nowadays. Okay, without RSCA also they are getting, but if you have RSCA, you will have guarantee in your career and you will get best package in the industry. Some of our students are they are getting 30 lakhs package also. I'm not telling that because that is based on our previous experience and managing skill set, it will vary. But definitely you will get best options here. So
Sir,
do you
in
have any
Gulf,
doubts?
sir, in Gulf, sir, in Gulf, they are they are they are only preferring the certified candidates,
Yeah,
and they are
not only Gulf.
yeah, and they are and they're offering like huge money. We
Yes, yeah, best
not
package they are
expecting the
giving.
dream also.
Yes. Because I trained some of the students who are working in UAE and Saudi. They are saying the same thing because because normally here in India only we will have this kind of uh, part by part training. Like we can have 2 hours training or 1.5 hour training, or weekends 4 hours training. But in most of the countries, when Red Hat is providing or any official partner is providing, they always provide in number of days. OpenShift training is only 3 days. In 3 days, they can't understand much more, even though normally sometimes they will have their own project works they have to continue, as well as they have to plan it. So that's reason they would lose interest and tempo while learning it. So that's reason many guys they won't be certified even though they learn the course. But in India, we'll have 100% who are learning the course, they will become certified automatically. And we have such a kind of environment and solution. And based on that, we are ensuring the candidate to pass the exam. But definitely, not only UAE or Saudi, anywhere in the globe, inclusive India, if you are certified, you definitely will get best advantage and best packages. Yeah. So,
So one more thing that who are having that RHLS subscription, so
uh,
we lost almost 45 days to 2 months of time, right, to write an
yes,
exam. Is
yes.
that going to be extended by Red Hat? Do you have any?
Yeah, exams, they extended to 3 months. So exams period, they extended to 3 months. But labs and usage of the RHLS account, we need to send request to support team, then only they may extend. As of now, I don't have any official information, but definitely if you send mail or if you say that while writing exam I need to practice my labs, like if you have 400 hours labs but you might be using 200 hours labs or 100 hours, at that moment if you want to extend your period before expiry only, you have to send mail to them. So normally they will take time like 2 to 3 days, working days. That season before expiry, if you send mail, they definitely will try to consider those things, because globally there is a kind of